It was a highway left for dead. The government decertified it. They took away its name, and they called it Progress.
Route 66 has not been an official U.S. highway since 1985. So technically and officially, this road doesn't exist.
Whether it was an official highway or not, people still knew Route 66 is the way west. So I'm going to get in the car with my family, I'm going to take a drive, and we're going to be in control of our own journey and get to experience some of the greatest things this country has to offer.
They could remove the shield, but not what the shield meant to people. Hopes and memories heading in different directions, but on one road, the Mother Road.
And just because you take down the shields doesn't mean that those people aren't there, that those restaurants aren't there, that those motels aren't there, that the natural sites along the road are there.
Because people are the road. You know, there's landmarks and there's things to see, but it's really getting to talk and hear the stories of these people that have made a living on the road and have lived on the road their whole life. That's the important part of the experience.
That's the essence of Route 66. It's the vibrancy, the passion, the interesting people you meet along the way. That's what gives it a unique flavor.
It had been decertified and the shields had been taken down, but the people were still out there, and the people are the best resource along Route 66. I knew that Angel Delgadillo was still cutting hair out in Seligman, Arizona.
We just got a motorcycle group from France. We see 80% of our visitors annually are international. The Americans are still learning about Route 66 after almost 100 years.
You can learn a lot about Route 66 right here in Seligman, Arizona. About a month ago, Angel Delgadillo retired from his barbershop at the age of 95. But he's still the guardian angel of the Mother Road. Angel spearheaded the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona, a preservation movement that brought Route 66 back from the dead.
The state finally got on board in the late 80s after quite a bit of prodding from the association and designated it a historic highway. And so that was a big move.
Angel and his brother Juan and their entire family were instrumental in the fight to bring back life to their town.
It says, sorry, we're open. The door isn't working.
Now their children continue the fight and are also the life of the party. If you can get into the party, a Delgadillo snow cap. The old fake doorknob trick.
I saw you.
And you were laughing.
I was laughing at you. I was like,
Were
where is he going now? And I'm like, oh my
You weren't
goodness.
laughing with me. You
I was
were laughing.
laughing. No, I was laughing with you.
No,
Weren't you
weren't.
laughing?
I was laughing at you.
Even if you see the joke coming, you still laugh.
Today is a big day. What is today?
Our father's birthday. His birthday, 106
Juan's
years
birthday.
old.
106 years old.
Yes, sir.
So who put 2 doorknobs on the door?
That young man did.
That.
Who's got the mustard shooting at people?
This man.
And you guys are following the tradition.
Oh, we're keeping up his legacy, absolutely.
to our repertoire.
But the impact of the Delgadillos is no joke.
Has anybody come in here in a bad mood?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, and then
They
we
leave happy.
we changed their
If they
attitude.
can find how to get out.
Yeah.
There is no reason to be in a hurry. There's a lot to learn and love here in Seligman.
Oh, yay!
But the old highway beckons us to Kingman for the only stop we have scheduled on this entire trip, meeting the storyteller Jim Hinckley.
So where has Route 66 brought you?
Well, you know what's funny? Like say, I been on this road almost all my life, and to me it was just a road. It was comfortable, like an old pair of shoes, of jeans, or a good saddle. And I'm just amazed the friendships, the people I've met that have become almost like family to me. And I never in my wildest imagination that Route 66 would take me from here, backwaters of Arizona, to places like in Poland and listening to a drunk Polish polka band play Route 66, or attend the European Route 66 Festival in Ofterding in Germany, or towing a Fiats down the Autobahn on a rope. It's all Route 66 related.
All because of this road.
All because of this road.
We met at Dutton Motors Dream Machines.
This is another one of those great living time capsules you find on Route 66. But this dealership, like I say, has been here since 1946. Shortly after it opened, it was bought by N.R. Dutton.
The Dutton family has owned it ever since.
These cars were so big they didn't come with a VIN number, they had their own zip code.
It now houses a museum and, yes, a sales lot.
And if you want to take the dream home, you can.
Yes, sir, Bob. By all means, everything here is for sale, except the Shelby. Probably even sell the dog before he'd part with that one.
For something a little more within my budget, the Duttons have Mr. D's Route 66 Diner, which dates back to 1939.
Route 66 has always been in a state of evolution. The Route 66 of 1930 is not the Route 66 of 1950 or 1980.
What makes the road stories that Jim and Michael Wallace tell about the Mother Road so compelling is that they tell the true story.
Route 66 and other old roads, two-lane roads, are like mirrors held up to the country. They reflect what it's like everywhere.
There's a problem here. We get into this, we don't want to talk about our past, but it's important because we see these things as milestones on how far we've progressed and how far we've got to go.
What I'm very careful to do is not overly romanticize this trip. And there are cold, hard truths to be learned out there. In its heyday, Nat King Cole couldn't have gone into the most humble diner on Route 66. He couldn't have stayed at the Blue Swallow Motel. He would have had to seek out quarters somewhere in the black part of town.
The Green Book was a traveling guide for African American travelers so that they could find safe lodging on the road.
And that was a book that saved many lives because it told black people where they could safely stay and what towns were sundown towns.
The Green Book for the Negro motorist was a very important part of travel on Route 66. Here in Kingman, we had dozens and dozens of motels. We had one that would offer service to African Americans.
This is that motel, the White Rock Court, a rare auto court that was listed in the Green Book and now stands as a reminder that the good old days were not always good for all Americans.
When I think about what people call the good old days, I think it depends on your perspective. When I'm an 8-year-old kid from St. Louis cruising down the road with my parents, I was having a ball. But if I'd been an 8-year-old black kid, a whole nother world.
When we return, it's an Arizona Sidewinder. We drive the most challenging part of Route 66 when Driven returns. Leaving Kingman, Arizona, we left any hint of the interstate and taking it easy far behind. America's Main Street now becomes the Oatman Highway. It is Route 66 at its most unforgiving.
Going through Oatman, you'll find the steepest grades and the sharpest curves anywhere on Route 66. Grades are over 12% out there in that mountain pass.
An old gas station is your last chance to turn around.
This is Cool Springs, the inspiration for Radiator Springs in the movie Cars. It also stands at the base of an 8-mile Sidewinder.
When it was bypassed, Cool Springs Service Station was left for ruin. And then it was blown up in the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Universal Soldier in 1991. Now, it's been carefully restored to its former glory, and it's the place to meet new old friends before the climb.
The road continues for you guys?
Here we are, we're still on it, still doing it.
It's an 8-mile Sidewinder. You ready?
Yeah, ready for it, yeah.
I've come to believe most things in the movie Cars are real, except for the fact that Sally and McQueen drove this at high speeds. I don't believe so. That's cartoon magic, folks. They should rename this Cast Iron Pass, because you need a cast iron stomach to make this one work.
Oatman Highway has challenged courage and camshafts for decades, and not all the drivers and vehicles were up to the challenge.
In the book by Jack Rittenhouse, A Guidebook to Highway 66, published in 1946, they noted that there was a towing service for cars that could not make the grade going over Sitgreaves Pass.
With beautiful views like this, you may want to look at the scenery. But with a road with this many turns, I'm going to say keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. Cue the doors.
Both elevation and blood pressure rise as Route 66 heads through the Black Mountains and up to 3,595 feet to Sitgreaves Pass.
We're going up through Sitgreaves Pass. It's just gorgeous. If the lens covers off, you got a picture.
Oh man, look at that view.
Sitgreaves Pass is a splendid drive if you're not afraid of heights. If you are, don't think about the guardrails because there are not many. At the scenic lookout, you can see Arizona, California, and Nevada, as well as memorials to the people who've had their ashes scattered among the winds. On the way to Oatman, there is more to see.
Back at Cool Springs, we were warned to watch out for burros on the road. Hello. Hello. We've reached some donkeys here, and they're not going to move. This is an Arizona standoff.
It is that whole Black Mountain section there, the Oatman Gold Road area, was the last great gold rush in Arizona, starting around 1902. It was a boom town.
When the boomtown went bust, the miners went, and the burros were just left and became semi-wild.
Welcome to Oatman. Ah, donkey. Get ready for Shrek imitations.
Strangely enough, that's the usual reaction to my sense of humor.
They've been coming to this town for over 100 years. These are descendants from the mining burros used in the gold mines from back in the day.
So they just...
Late 1800s, early 1900s, they've been coming here. They know where the free food is at.
So for 100 years, people have been feeding the donkeys.
For over 100 years in this town, they've been feeding the burros.
Oatman is unique. It's a caricature of what people expect from a mining town, with gunfights in the streets and different things of that nature. It's fun.
You're allowed 3 Shrek imitations when you're in Oatman. After 3, that's it. You have to stop. I have one more. Oh, donkey. Okay.
Oatman does offer more than the burros. It's a brilliant place to unwind after white-knuckling the pass.
Oatman is neat. There's about 3 or 4 original buildings. The Oatman Hotel is one of the oldest and it's the tallest adobe building in Mojave County.
But honestly, it's hard to top Oatman's 4-legged residence.
This is where my career has reached its high point. From here, it's downhill. How can I get better than feeding donkeys? Hello, donkey.
Just a good, fun town. But without tourists in Route 66, they would have died on the vine.
You gotta get out of the road. We're gonna get you out of the road. You're blocking Route 66. Come on, there's cars waiting. This is Route 66. Come on, come on. I'm doing my best here, folks.
When we return, hopefully we can get back on the Mother Road when Driven continues. Route 66 along Oatman Highway is demanding and desolate, and a driver's dream.
This is our own canyon roller coaster. One of the best things about this old highway is when you're asked, well, what was your favorite part? It's the part you're on right now.
On this road trip, caught between the immensity and isolation of it all, you can't help but reflect on the people who've traveled this way before. This is where the grapes of wrath take root.
Looking for the ghost of Tom Joad. It's parts like this of Route 66 that you wonder how the Okies actually made it in their jalopies over mountain ranges and deserts.
I didn't find the ghost of Tom Joad here on Route 66, but along this tattered tarmac, and in the words of John Steinbeck and John Ford's adaptation, I discovered how these real-life Joads made this impossible passage. It was by their sheer will.
But we keep a-comin'. We're the people that live. They can't wipe us out, they can't lick us. We'll go on forever, Pa, 'cause we're the people.
Hundreds of thousands of American-born migrants headed west to California during the Dust Bowl and Depression, searching not for a better life, but a job. Route 66 is their American story. The mountain pass descends to the Colorado River. The old Route 66 bridge that carried the refugees now carries pipelines. Here, a high-octane aqua oasis is inviting and exceedingly startling, like a spring break mirage, the last stop before the extremes of the demanding Mojave Desert.
But I like the desert. I'm one of the dry roasted nuts. I enjoy the desert country immensely. So all that stretch out around Amboy and Essex, Chambliss, Ludlow. If you want the real Route 66, what you do is turn off your air conditioner and drive the Mojave Desert, preferably in an old car that's going to overheat 3 or 4 times, and be sure to sleep along the highway in the dirt with the ants once in a while. And I said, then you got a real handle on what Route 66 was like.
The second to last town on Bobby Troupe's hit list, Barstow. Like other towns along Route 66, is working hard to bring back the Mother Road's mystique, partly by invoking stars of its past on murals. But nothing defines roadside attraction in the Mojave like the orchard of optical delight that is Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch. This is art as wonder, the desert as canvas.
Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch is more than a roadside attraction. It's a monument, a testament to a father and son, a testament to a family.
Elmer had dedicated his work to those who lived and died on the Mother Road, but it's also a testament to his father, who Elmer began collecting bottles with when he was young. When his father died, Elmer started the Tree Farm, a shrine in glass that has attracted the world. In 2019, Elmer passed away, and his family is working on preserving the family's shining legacy. The quirky desert town of Oro Grande belongs on Route 66. Places like the Iron Hog Saloon and Cross-Eyed Cow Pizza draw you off the highway with some recycled kitsch and some California craziness.
Nothing ever really goes to waste on Route 66. Got an old bike? Stick it on the roof. Got an old car? Stick it on the roof. Got an old beat-up caboose? Stick it on the side. Talk about an old beat-up caboose. That's what I'm sitting on right now. We have been pounding the road, and the road has been pounding back. On to Los Angeles, the city of dreams, the city of angels, the city of traffic jams.
The Mother Road navigates all the landscapes of Southern California. Deserts, mountains, valleys, and finally beaches. And then there is the sprawl. For fame or fortune, Americans moved west and urban sprawl moved east. It hits around San Bernardino, where the only other surviving Route 66 Wigwam Motel Village still operates. San Bernardino is also home to the first original McDonald's museum. The McDonald brothers started it all here on Route 66. Sold, schemed, or stolen, everything changed when Ray Kroc franchised the hamburger stand.
In the 50s and 60s, Route 66 was known for its drive-ins and diners. But when McDonald's expanded, the business that started on Route 66 ended up closing many of those businesses.
The popularity of hamburgers grew as travel times increased.
So there's 6 lanes of traffic totally stopped. Maybe that's why LA has such a great car culture, is because they have to spend so much time just sitting in their car. Just sitting.
If you time it right, you're always going to have traffic. But Route 66 in the metro LA area is just fascinating.
I did not time it right, but I did finally reach the Santa Monica Pier. This is not the original end of Route 66, but the pier is a true manifestation of our country's westward movement, taking Manifest Destiny all the way into the ocean. An amusement park pier is the perfect symbolic end to the greatest ride America has ever created, Route 66.
There's something about the magic of 66. It's a roll of the dice. It's an adventure.
It's the quintessential American road trip. It's freedom. It's the open road. And it's America personified.
Today, Route 66 is kind of that encouragement that, you know what, if you want to experience America, the road's still here. You can go out and do it, and it's all up to you, whatever you decide.
The one word you should never use at Route 66 is this: predictable. Nothing's predictable about it. It's a work in progress.
We finally made it to the end of Route 66, but as we've learned, the road never really ends. The old highway keeps on going as long as we continue to travel it and keep those stories with us. We will tell the story of America.